Hey everybody, Dom Nicastro, managing editor at CMSWire. I am so pumped to be joined by a new CMSWire contributor, Mark Smith, VP Digital Engagement Solutions at CSG. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great, Dom. Great to see you again.
Yeah,
How
it's
are you?
great to see you too. And it was so good to see you in person at the Forrester CX North America. We caught up at CSG's booth and talked about customer experience, employee experience, amid all the hoopla and fun that Nashville brings to us. So did you have enough fun in Nashville a couple weeks
Oh,
ago?
yeah. There's a reason it's now called Nash Vegas,
Las
isn't it?
Vegas. Yeah. I never expected a New Year's Eve feel on a Wednesday night in June, but lo and behold, there it was. So, Mark, you're a new contributor to CMS Wire, and that's awesome. You know, we love getting people that are in the trenches, doing the work of customer experience, employee experience, listening to clients about their challenges, their successes. So tell our listeners a little bit about yourself
Sure.
and your company.
Sure. So, yeah, no, real pleasure to be here. I'm very excited about being a new contributor to CMSWire, Dom. So, I'm a VP in our digital engagement solutions business here at CSG. So CSG's, big global business focused on employee and customer engagement solutions for primarily our biggest market is telecommunication cable companies, but we also have a lot of clients in financial services, healthcare, and retail. And in my group, a lot of what we do is digitally focused, helping businesses move more and more communication to digital channels. But the heart of any rigorous customer engagement process has to take in all channels. And oftentimes there are human assisted channels where there's members of the team, employees involved in those interactions. And we obviously help with that too. And that was one of the things we were talking about. But I've been at CSG for actually a year today. A year ago today, they acquired my previous business, which was called Kitewheel.
Yeah.
Kitewheel got featured lots of times in CMS while we
Journey orchestration engine. Yep.
Exactly.
The Joes, J-O-E.
Yeah. Yep. So, an engine to essentially make the right decisions in real time, every time you see a customer, regardless of channel, and map out an experience to be as good as it possibly can be for every customer, no matter which channel they use. It's been a bit of a crazy year in this market because all the leaders you mentioned Forrester CX event, Forrester Wave, actually just came out this week for journey orchestration, and all of the leaders have been acquired in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So very proud and very pleased that CSG comes out right in the top corner of that wave with a clear leader in this space, post all of these acquisitions. So
Congrats,
it's very exciting times. And, I think very exciting times to add the employee experience dimension into customer experience, because for two plus years, every boardroom in the States has been talking about CX as a big theme, and experience is everything. And that's why customers buy, and that's why customers stay. But this year, that's almost, in many companies, it's been overtaken by a focus on the employee experience and taking care of our employees. The grand resignations, certainly part of that. The shortage of staff everywhere is definitely part of that. But what's really cool is that a lot of the stuff that's been developed to help the kind of self-service, best experience for the customer, same stuff can be used to help with guiding the employee through their experience of interacting with the customer and tying the two together so that there's a real synchrony between what the customer does and what the employee does.
And when you and I were talking in Nashville at the Forrester CX event, this is what led to this article, right? We were talking about the connection between customer experience and employee experience, and we weren't you weren't the only one that mentioned that to me. I was working that exhibition hall, I was working the lunchroom, talking to CX folks. Now the CX folks, there was one particular group that was with a credit card company, and they were not talking about their customer experience challenges. They were talking about empowering their agents, right? That's all employee experience. And that conversation, the one with you, with other folks, has led me to think, I think customer experience folks are going to lead employee experience on some level in many organizations soon. I don't expect them to handle benefits and vacation and PTO time. You're still going to have HR for that. But why not apply these skills, this technology that customer experience folks are so good at, and apply that to employees?
Yeah, I totally agree. Because, if you link delivering a great experience to a customer and put that power in the hands of the employee, they're gonna love their job. They're gonna feel a reward from doing their job. Their job becomes easier because they feel intelligent. They're empowered with this insight to do the right thing for the customer. So many of the tools in the CX space are focused on, smart analytics and AI and delivery of this, the delivery of the right thing to help the customer. And it's just like the next step. It's now let's help the employee help the customer by giving that same insight and that same intelligence, putting it right in the hands of the employee. So I think you're right. The ideal future is there is one system that's running both sides of this and helping the employee experience as well as the customer experience and integrated with the customer experience.
Yeah. And I put it out there as if I'm going to be this industry leading voice that just changed the industry. But I did put it out there on a tweet, Mark, after Forrester. And I think I said it's going to be called something like experience, right? Not just customer experience anymore, not just employee. It's going to be called experience. That's it. Wow. And, you see some of that in the market already. You see some things like total experience, or you see things like that. But I think it's just going to be wiped out experience. And in your article, I think one of your comments in the article was, employees are the guiding light of the customer journey. And that seems to sum it up nicely.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny, just go back and use the Forrester name again. They've made this move. They used to talk about customer journey and customer journey orchestration. They now just talk about journey orchestration. So a little bit exactly like you say about experience, and they deliberately did that because it's not just the customer. There's this, wider perspective of caring about the employee for sure, but just engaging the employee better.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, looking ahead, Mark, what do you think are some of the themes you'll be following, the rest of 2022, 2023, or just general broad strokes about some things our readers might expect from you down the road in some future CMSWire columns?
Yeah. So I think there's two big things. One is all about helping companies get started on this type of thing. There's a lot of demand, but it's a new space. Oftentimes it seems very complicated to figure out how to get started in terms of delivering a customer journey or a better customer experience. And especially when you're embedding the employee in the mix, it's a level of complexity there that the leaders in the market are kind of changing, are packaging things up, getting best practices embedded into the product so that it's just easier and quicker for companies to, get started actually doing this stuff. There's just so much demand, and it's moving down from the very, very top companies, the leaders, to the mid-market now is very eager to get involved doing some of this smart stuff with their employees and their customers. And that's certainly going to happen. I think the other big thing that's happening is, we're going to solve a long-standing kind of thorny issue, which is how does driving an improvement in experience for the customer, which you might measure in terms of customer satisfaction or promoter score kind of metrics, how does that turn into real money for businesses? And the good tools and the advanced companies are kind of overlaying that feedback information from customers on the actual behavior of customers, and on the journey that's actually happening. And for the first time, are starting to piece the two together, and are starting to really understand the levers of, you know, a 1% improvement or a 1 point extra in my NPS. I can now measure that in real terms, in terms of increased revenue or decreased operating costs, whatever it may be. And I think that's the next sort of big barrier that we're going to see a lot of stuff on in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's true. Like, I think, remember how, you know, before 2020, all those best companies to work at, right? What were in those descriptions? Perks, vacation time, ping pong tables, what the office is like. Do they let you work from home 1 day a week? Now, in 2022 and 2023, who's going to make the best places to work? It's going to be the folks that let you work from home 100%. So, and then B, who has the software and the tools to provide you with the ability to do your job efficiently, right? So those are now the standards of best places to work. It's remote and software, remote and software. There's no more ping pong. There's no more beer unless they give you a gift card to go somewhere on your own. The office of the future, none of that matters anymore. The office of the future is downstairs in my basement or my kitchen, you know? So I get it. I get that. I get that employee experience is going to be so top of mind, and customer experience is obviously always going to be top of mind.
You know, Dom, all the more reason to support those employees with the intelligence tools to help them do their job quicker and better.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Mark Smith, can't thank you enough for catching up. It was great to see you in Nashville and in this virtual world today as well. Looking forward to more CMSWire columns. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dom.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Take care.
Thanks.